Hello, all. I am John Devney, and my topic is about a customer-focused bus stop assessment tool. I will explain why getting the user's view is critically important for the planning, design, and maintenance of bus stops with regards to the amenity, access, and safety at them. In this presentation, I will briefly cover the following topics: a simpler bus stop classification, design principles for bus stops, customer-focused bus stop planning, best practice in stop design guidance, and a proposed bus stop assessment tool with some potential applications. Firstly, I provide a simplified bus stop classification hierarchy for the planning, design, and maintenance of bus stops with the associated facilities such as bus shelters, safe access paths to them, and other amenities for a good customer experience. I also present some bus stop design principles for consideration. I propose a simpler method to classify bus stops as follows. Firstly, a station, interchange, or terminus that has off-street facilities, as shown here with a bus interchange at a train station. Secondly, stops on an arterial or subarterial road with 4 or more lanes that have a posted speed greater than 50 kilometers an hour. These stops generally are more difficult to access because bus passengers must cross a busy, wider road for at least one part of their journey. And thirdly, stops on collector or local streets with posted speeds of 50 kilometers an hour or less and have lower traffic volumes and are typically easier to cross with one lane in each direction. Here are some examples of bus stops with and without shelters in Adelaide. These photos are to show the different types of bus stops. Throughout Australia, I realized that bus stop and shelter designs have different branding and styles determined by the relevant state government or local councils. These examples are a station on the Adelaide Oban at Paradise, a bus interchange at a train station, a council bus shelter at a stop on an arterial road, a state government designed shelter on a subarterial road, a bus stop in a main street precinct with a restaurant frontage, and a bus stop without a shelter on a collector road in a residential area. Bus stop infrastructure may be managed by the operators or transport agencies, but often they are the responsibility of the owner of the footpath, that is typically the local council. Therefore, in considering a range of bus stop infrastructure and customer needs, I propose the following high-level bus stop design principles to design stops for access, safety, and security for all. Provide comfort and assurance for all bus patrons. And tailor the stop infrastructure to meet the customer needs. Planning, design, and maintenance of bus stops requires an approach to think like a customer. Therefore, it is important to consider the following 3 customer needs. 1. Amenity and security, with the customer saying, I'm okay waiting here on my own. 2. Accessibility and convenience, with the customer saying, I can arrive here safely and easily. And 3. Awareness and information, with the customer saying, I know how to identify and find my local bus stop and destination. Bus stop and shelter design guidelines are widely used and implemented, and I provide some best practice with the following slides. Most councils, government agencies, and bus operators have tools that are used to plan, design, and maintain bus stops, including the need for shelters and the guidelines for the location and the footpath design. These tools include bus stop and shelter design guidance in agency or bus operator manuals, shelter warrants based on the customer demand and location, and bus stop safety audits with checklists. From my research of bus stop design guidance from overseas in Australia, several approaches exist to plan and design for safe, accessible bus stops. This includes accessible bus stop design guidance from Transport for London in the United Kingdom, released in 2006. Several U.S. transit agencies, such as TriMet in Portland, Oregon, with the Comprehensive Bus Stop Guidelines Manual revised in 2010. The American Public Transportation Association, known as APTA, in Washington, D.C., with the Recommended Practice for Bus Stop Design and Placement, and the Guideline for Promoting Compliance of Bus Stops with the Disability Standards for Accessible Public Transport in 2002, issued by the Australian Human Rights Commission in 2010. In the USA, the toolkit for the assessment of bus stop accessibility and safety was prepared in collaboration with the U.S. Department of Transportation as an Easter Seals project. Easter Seals in the USA is an advocacy group for people with disability needs. This toolkit provides a comprehensive bus stop checklist to assess the location and design of a bus stop, to consider barrier-free design to the stop, urban wayfinding and signage at the stop, and safety and warning information when waiting at the stop. In Victoria, research on the access to bus stops is provided in Getting to the Bus Stop document prepared by Victoria Walks in collaboration with the Bus Association Victoria in 2021. This report provides statistics about the challenges for people with mobility issues to access the bus stop, with ideas to address them. The Public Transport Authority of Western Australia is a leader in best practice for bus stop design guidelines in Australia, with a holistic approach to consider a wide range of factors to provide a safe, high-quality amenity at the bus stop environment. This is shown with this diagram on the right. Three other examples of bus stop and shelter design guidelines developed by state governments are shown here, with the Public Transport Infrastructure Manual prepared by TransLink in Queensland in 2015, moving toward more accessible bus stops from the Tasmanian government. This is supported with a bus shelter design guide and a program to fund and implement all-weather bus stops throughout Tasmania using a bus stop assessment framework. And the Bus Stop Infrastructure Design Specification from the Department for Infrastructure and Transport in South Australia. This document provides details for the design of bus stop infrastructure and shelters. It does not include a bus stop or shelter funding method, since the installation of the bus stop infrastructure is typically the responsibility of the owner of the roadway or footpath. I have developed a customer-focused bus stop assessment tool that I will explain very briefly on the following slides. This tool applies a multi-criteria analysis framework with 10 assessment criteria to consider the customer's perspective, as shown in this table. 4 criteria apply to amenity and security to address the needs for the level of cover provided for all-weather protection, available waiting space while allowing for other pedestrian movements, property activation for security with private or public spaces, and security with crime prevention through environmental design principles, also known as CPTED. The next 3 criteria are under the category of accessibility and convenience, with stop directness for access along high-quality footpaths, the stop placement for convenience and the need to cross a busy road, universal access design principles to provide for all customer mobility needs. And the last 3 criteria are under the category for customer awareness and information, with the consistent application of signage and branding, the method of display of the customer information, and the availability of information about local destinations. The weightings were grouped under 3 types of customer needs, namely with 40% for amenity and security, 30% for accessibility and convenience, and the remaining 30% for awareness and information. I have developed a scoring sheet from 1 to 5, with 5 the highest value or rating for the proposed bus stop assessment tool. The score sheet is explained on the following table. I am not discussing all of these values or ranges at this time, but they are available for detailed viewing with the copy of the presentation. If you have any questions about the ranges or categories, I welcome your suggestions and feedback at the online technical session in February 2025. Here is an example of the bus stop assessment scoring for a small selection of a range of bus stops in metropolitan Adelaide. A bus interchange at a train station has the highest score at 5. A bus stop at an outer suburban park and ride facility has a score of 4. A bus stop in a Main Street precinct has a medium score at 3. A bus stop on a residential collector road has a low score of 2. And a bus stop on a rural road with no footpaths or shelter has the lowest score at 1. In conclusion, it is important to consider the views of the customers in planning for the location, infrastructure, and amenity at bus stops. This type of customer-focused bus stop assessment tool with a multi-criteria analysis approach is applicable for a Rate My Stop tool for bus passengers to score their typical bus stops and report back to the council or transport department with any issues. This is similar to the Bike Spot rating tool that was available for bicycle users in 2023 across Australia. As a ready reckoner for councils and agencies to determine which bus stops need safety or security upgrades or to proactively address any maintenance issues. And for research in strategic transport planning to analyze the bus stop locations or needs along corridors, precincts, or in area-wide plans. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to receiving comments and suggestions at the online conference session in February 2025.